Hello, Aries. If you're hearing this right now, it's not a coincidence. The universe has its own mysterious way of making us pause right at the moment when our souls need to awaken. And today, I want you to listen slowly with your heart open, because something is about to change in your life. October 13 isn't just another day. It's a day when the energy of the sky opens a sacred gateway where fire, shadow, and light meet, creating a rare shift that only the bravest souls can feel. If you're here, it means your spirit is ready for a new kind of journey. A journey of awakening, of rebirth, of miracles waiting to be named. And to understand why this day is unlike any other, come with me. Let's step together into the first layer of destiny's flame where the universe sends its first sign. A warning made of light, one you were never meant to ignore. There are days when time itself seems to stop, not because the earth has stopped turning, but because the universe is preparing for something greater, deeper, and far more sacred than we've ever known. October 13 is one of those days. A day when those who are sensitive to energy will feel the air shift, as if something within the soul begins to tremble, like the sky is whispering a secret meant only for them. Aries. The universe is opening a door, not a door that the eyes can see, but a window of destiny, a space where light and shadow meet, where your soul is called to awaken. This is not random. This is not coincidence. Every planet is moving like an ancient river of wisdom, weaving together a perfect moment, the moment you are invited to remember who you truly are. The world outside may still be loud, chaotic, rushing, but underneath that noise, a sacred silence is spreading, a silence where God Himself is rewriting a chapter of your story. And if you listen closely, you'll realize nothing in your life has ever been meaningless. Every challenge, every goodbye, every tear was written with love into the blueprint of your soul. Maybe lately, you've been tired. Maybe you're standing at the edge between what's ending and what's about to begin, unsure whether to stay or to move forward. But understand this, the storms of life do not come to punish you. They come to awaken the part of your soul that has been asleep. Sometimes, only when everything falls apart, do we finally hear the voice that's been calling us home all along. I've seen many souls stand at this same threshold, when everything they knew began to dissolve, yet a faint new light started to rise. That light didn't come from outside. It came from within, from the flame you've carried in your heart, even when you thought it had gone out. People often ask, why do I have to go through so many trials? And the answer is simple. Because you are stronger than you think. Because your soul chose this path long before you were born, to learn how to love yourself even in the darkest nights. October 13 is not just another day. It's a signal of a deep cosmic shift, a moment when you are offered a chance to awaken. You might feel it as the air moving differently, a soft wind brushing against your skin, a light flickering behind the clouds, a whisper from above saying, "It's time." Pause for a moment. Close your eyes, feel your heartbeat. It's still steady, still loyal to life itself, still reminding you that you're here for a reason. Every breath you take is a quiet declaration, I am still here, I am still walking my path. Don't fear the changes that are coming. The universe never takes something from you without preparing something greater in return. Every loss is a release. Every detour is an invitation to move closer to your true self. And sometimes the thing that hurts you most is exactly what will awaken you. This month, you may begin to notice signs, small synchronicities, repeating numbers, a familiar feeling that something is about to unfold. Don't ignore them. That's how the universe speaks. A random glance, an unexpected call, a quiet sense of something's coming. All of it is a message that you're nearing your turning point. Share in the comments. What has been the moment that awakened you most deeply in your life? Your story could be the light for someone still walking through their darkness, and sometimes telling it aloud is already an act of healing. So, Aries, let this October 13 be your promise to yourself that you will no longer run from the fire. You will walk into it, to be reborn. And now, as we step deeper into the first flame of destiny, a signal will appear, bright, powerful, impossible to ignore. It is the cosmic red flag, the invitation to your very first test. Sometimes, everything begins with a small explosion inside, a single word that hits your pride, a glance that wounds you, an unexpected moment that makes your heart tremble as if someone just lit a flame inside your chest. You wonder, why me? Why does peace vanish so quickly, disappearing like smoke a moment after it arrived? But Aries, trust me, nothing is random. The universe never sends you a storm unless it already knows you're strong enough to walk through it. On October 13, the first sign will appear, the cosmic red flag. It might be a sudden argument, a disagreement in your family, tension at work, or someone pushing you to your limit. On the surface, it looks like conflict, but on a deeper level, it's a ritual of fire, the universe's way of asking, have you learned to master the flame within you yet? When fire meets the wind, it can either rage uncontrollably or go out in silence. The same is true for the human spirit. When challenge arrives, you can burn with anger or shine with awareness. And in that very moment, every Aries soul must choose. Will your fire destroy or illuminate? In Buddhist wisdom, it is said, one who masters the mind masters the world. The mind is the flame, both the power of life and the greatest trial of being human. When we are hurt, the mind wants to react. It wants to fight back, to prove itself right, to be heard. But true maturity doesn't come from winning the argument. It comes from staying calm in the middle of the fire. Someone may anger you, disrespect you, or make you feel unseen. You may feel your heart breaking under the weight of injustice, but sometimes, the very person who hurts you is the one who reveals your strength. Without them, you would never know how powerful you truly are. Think back to the last time you lost your temper. What happened after that? Did your anger carry you forward, or did it pull you into your own shadow? The fire within you can burn, or it can light the way. The answer lies in how you use it. On October 13, the universe will place you on a karmic chessboard. On one side, impulsive emotion. On the other, the light of awareness. The universe will make the first move, it will challenge you. But the next move is yours. Will you respond with rage or with wise silence? Will your flame explode without meaning or become the lantern that leads you through the night? Remember, Aries, you are not meant to run from conflict. You were born to face it, to transform it, to turn fire into wisdom. Because only when you learn to walk through the flames without being burned, do you finally understand where your true strength comes from. I've seen many Aries walk through moments that seemed unbearable, and yet, they rose again, calm eyes, gentle smile. They no longer needed to blame, no longer needed to prove. They simply said softly, "Now I understand." And in that moment, they became the most beautiful version of themselves. Maybe as you're hearing this, you too are standing in that same fire, the place where your soul is tested. If so, see it as a gift from the universe, not a punishment wrapped in chaos, but a lesson wrapped in light. It teaches you this truth: strength isn't the roar, it's the quiet within the storm. When life begins to blow like wind through your world, take a deep breath. Let the anger move through you like clouds drifting across the sky. Keep the light, leave the smoke behind. And when the storm finally calms, you'll see the universe never came to test you. It came to teach you how to love yourself, even in your fiercest moments. Share in the comments what helps you stay calm when life begins to storm. Who knows, your words today might become a light for someone lost in the rain. And as the flames begin to settle, something else rises quietly from deep within your soul. Not the noise of the world, but the whisper of the dark, a deeper layer, where hidden truths begin to take shape, not to frighten you, but to help you see who you truly are. In the journey of the soul, there are times when we must walk through darkness to truly find ourselves, not because the light has gone out, but because the light is being tested to see if it's strong enough to shine from within. Aries. The second sign doesn't arrive with thunder or earthquakes. It comes quietly, like a small crack in your faith, a glance that makes your heart pause. A friend you trusted turns away. A bond you thought was solid begins to tremble. Or maybe it's that quiet loneliness, the moment you realize you're standing alone in a room full of noise. This isn't punishment. This is the shadow test, the trial of darkness. The universe isn't here to hurt you. It only wants you to see what you've been afraid to face, the invisible cords that still hold you back. In Buddhist wisdom, it is said, no one can betray you unless you are holding on. So when betrayal arrives, look deeper. The darkness isn't here to drown you, it's here to illuminate what you must release. It unties the karmic knots, old attachments, fading beliefs, familiar habits, and illusions your soul has already outgrown, but your heart still clings to. You may feel loss. You may want to go back to fix, to understand, to prove. But some doors close not because you did something wrong. They close because the universe is opening another one just when you can't see yet. Think back, how many times has something that broke you ended up saving you? How many times have you thanked a rejection, a heartbreak, or a storm? When someone walks away, they don't take your light with them. They simply give you the chance to shine on your own. When you lose someone, don't focus on the space they left behind. Look at the light that can finally reach the places they once shadowed. That's where your soul grows. That's where you rediscover your strength and your freedom. Darkness is the most demanding teacher, but also the most honest healer. It teaches you that trust doesn't belong in others, it belongs within yourself. It teaches you that true love doesn't bind, doesn't demand, doesn't possess. And it teaches you that sometimes loss is simply another form of protection. When you feel betrayed, whisper softly, "Thank you for showing me what I needed to see." In that moment, you stop being the victim. You become the student who finally understands the lesson. If someone once hurt you, ask yourself, what did they come to teach me? Maybe they taught you how to stand up again. Maybe they taught you how to trust yourself. Maybe they simply came to awaken the part of your heart you had locked away. Share in the comments who once caused you pain but later helped you grow. Your story might be the mirror someone else needs, a small light for another wandering soul. Aries, you are walking through a dark valley now. But remember, darkness never truly defeats the light. It's only a curtain, so you can finally realize that the light has always been within you. And when you accept that, when you no longer fear loss, no longer blame, no longer seek justice from others, the light returns naturally. Gentle, warm, radiant beyond words. That's the moment the universe smiles, because you've passed through another layer of yourself, because your soul has been purified, and because you are now ready for what comes next, something no longer colored by shadow, but shimmering with gold, with faith, with a door quietly opening to a new beginning. And just as the darkness fades away, a golden doorway appears, not for everyone, but for those brave enough to walk through their fear. Sometimes the most beautiful things in life appear in forms we least expect, not as blinding flashes of light, but as quiet, tender moments that make your heart tremble, as if hearing a sacred calling from somewhere ancient. Aries, after the fires of trial and the shadows of cleansing, another energy begins to approach you, gentle, but powerful like an underground current. This is the third sign, the golden opportunity, the golden doorway of destiny. This opportunity won't arrive dressed in splendor. It may come as a sudden decision, an unexpected invitation, or an idea that flickers in the very moment you feel exhausted. It could be a new job that makes you hesitate, a new relationship knocking on your heart when you least expect it, or even a dream that revives something you once longed for but abandoned long ago. On the surface, it looks risky. It might confuse you, even scare you. But if you listen deeply, you'll realize this is a miracle in disguise. The universe often hides its greatest gifts inside the very challenges that make us doubt ourselves. Buddha taught, courage is not the absence of fear, but the act of walking forward while fear is still there. Fear is natural, but stepping forward anyway, that's the act of an awakened soul. Because no one ever awakens in the comfort zone. No one ever meets their destiny without stepping into the unknown. Golden opportunities never knock twice. They appear only when you are aware enough to recognize them. Sometimes they come disguised as inconvenience, a trip you almost cancel, an offer you almost reject, a turning point that logic says, not yet, but your soul knows. It knows this is the calling. And when the soul speaks, the universe goes silent and waits. If the safe path keeps you comfortable, the destined path keeps you awake. Safety can make you sleep, but awakening makes you truly alive. And sometimes real life begins the moment you take a step, not knowing where it will lead. I've met many people standing before this doorway, their eyes bright with recognition, then dimmed by fear. They chose familiarity instead of faith. And years later, they still whisper, "What would have happened if I had dared?" Don't let that question become a scar on your heart, Aries. You weren't born to stand still. You were born to move forward, to lead, to ignite the path others are afraid to walk. When opportunity comes, you might feel unprepared, but no one is ever truly ready for their destiny. The chosen ones are always called in moments of weakness, and it's that very vulnerability that makes their step sacred. And sometimes the only thing standing between you and a miracle is a single heartbeat of faith. Faith in yourself, in your soul, in the current of the universe. Because what is meant for you will never need to be chased, only received with a courageous heart. If the opportunity you've been waiting for appeared tomorrow, would you be brave enough to take it? Ask yourself that, not with your mind, but with your heart, because the heart always knows which way is true. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Imagine a golden door opening before you. A soft light spills through the crack, falling gently across your face, warm, unfamiliar, alive. You don't know what lies beyond, but you feel it. If you step through, everything will change. You're afraid, yes. But in that fear, there's a spark of excitement, like your soul smiling and whispering, "This is your time." And when you take that step, Aries, trust that the universe will move 1,000 stars to lift you higher. Because when one soul dares to walk into the light, the entire sky shifts with them. These 3 signs are not separate events. They are 3 layers of a sacred universal ritual, designed uniquely for the Aries soul. To remind you that the fire within you isn't just for battle, but to illuminate the very path of destiny you were born to walk. Every journey in the universe follows a sacred order of its own. Nothing happens by accident, and no event is ever meaningless. Every moment, whether it's a smile, a tear, or silence, is part of an invisible design your soul agreed to long before you were born. Aries. When you look back at the 3 signs, the fire of trial, the darkness of purification, and the golden door of opportunity, you'll begin to see how everything is woven together, like the links of a chain leading to awakening. They are not separate. They are one perfect cycle, each experience unlocking a new layer of understanding, guiding you closer to your divine purpose. In the first layer, the universe taught you courage, how to stand firm in the storm without letting anger consume your fire. In the second, the shadows came not to defeat you, but to teach you how to find light within pain. And in the final layer, opportunity appeared not as another test, but as a gift for the soul that has endured enough to become transparent. Buddhist wisdom says, when you understand, you stop complaining. When you awaken, you stop being afraid. True understanding doesn't come from knowledge, it comes from experience. From walking through the flames, from feeling every wound, from facing every curve life places in front of you. When you truly understand, you no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, you smile softly and whisper, "Ah, now I see. The universe is never wrong, we just haven't learned its language yet." Every time a door closes, you think you've lost an opportunity, but maybe the universe is simply moving things around, preparing to open a greater one that fits the soul you're becoming. Look back at the moments that broke you. You'll see there were no real failures, only lessons delivered in forms you weren't yet ready to receive. The universe doesn't judge. It simply repeats the same lesson until you've learned what you need. And once you do, the lesson dissolves like rain disappearing after it has cleansed the sky. Aries, you are a soul of fire, and fire never stands still. It moves, it transforms, it spreads. So does the universe. It keeps turning, gently pushing you forward even when you think you're not ready. The people who leave, the chances that slip away, the dreams left unfinished, they are all part of the current carrying you not to where you want to stay, but to where you're meant to go. If ever you feel lost, remember, even the stars must pass through darkness before they shine. Loneliness is not punishment. It's the sacred pause where you can finally hear your own soul speak. Share a moment when you later realized the universe had arranged everything perfectly. Maybe it was a rejection that led you to a better path. Maybe it was heartbreak that eventually brought you to the one who truly belongs. Write it down, because when we share our journey, we plant seeds of light in the hearts of others. Once you understand the sacred architecture of the universe, you no longer want to control everything. You simply wish to flow with it softly, peacefully, like a leaf falling at the right moment, like a drop of water merging into the ocean. The 3 signs are not prophecies. They are the 3 levels of a cosmic ritual, where the Aries soul learns to transform impulsive fire into guiding light. And in that realization, life ceases to be a string of random events. It becomes a deliberate journey, shaped with love, awareness, and grace. And within all this divine orchestration, one truth remains your choice. Will you keep reacting to life, or begin creating with it? Will you curse fate, or smile and walk forward as a soul that knows it is being guided? Because in the end, destiny isn't something written for you. It's the music you compose through every conscious choice you make along the way. In every lifetime, there comes a moment when the soul must pause, not out of exhaustion, but because the universe has placed a door before you. It doesn't close, nor does it open. It simply waits, silently, for you to reach out and decide. October 13th is that moment, Aries, the point where destiny is no longer something far away, but a quiet invitation calling your name. No one left to blame, nothing left to delay. There is only you, raw, honest, standing between 2 worlds, one side familiar and safe, the other unknown, radiant, beautiful, but filled with challenge. You may feel fear of stepping wrong, of losing what you have, of not knowing what lies ahead. But remember this: courage is not a feeling, it's an action. The brave are not those without fear, but those who move forward in spite of it. Life never punishes the fearful, it simply passes them by. The universe won't force you to change, but it will not wait forever. When opportunity comes, it's like a wave. If you don't leap, it will roll away, carrying with it the very miracle you once prayed for. I know there were times you stood at a crossroads and chose to stay. Stay because it was safe. Stay because you felt unready. Stay because a quiet voice said, maybe not yet. But when you look back, isn't it true that the moments you truly lived were the ones when you dared to step beyond the familiar? The universe doesn't choose the strongest, it chooses the ones who dare to move forward even while trembling, because those trembling steps are the truest ones. They are not led by pride, but by faith, not by ego, but by the light within. On October 13th, the universe opens its golden door. Not for everyone, only for those who act. It might appear as a phone call, a new chance, a small shift in your daily rhythm, but any of these could be the first step into your next chapter. And if you hesitate, that door will fade quietly, like morning mist melting under the sun. Ask yourself, if destiny knocked today, what would you do differently? Would you trust yourself, follow the whisper of your heart, even while logic trembles in protest? Would you have enough faith to walk into the unknown simply because it feels right? This world isn't lacking in talent or dreams. What separates those who touch the miraculous from those who don't is a decision. Every great journey begins with a simple declaration: I will not be afraid anymore. You don't need to know where you're going. You only need to know that you will not stand still. The universe moves with those in motion. When you take one step, it takes 10. When you dare to believe, it will move mountains to clear your path. What awaits you may not be easy. The road might get lonely, tiring, and full of doubt. But every drop of sweat, every tear, every time you choose to keep going is recorded in the divine book of life as the mark of a courageous soul. If you've ever hesitated before your destiny, share in the comments. What will you do differently this time? Because sometimes, simply speaking it aloud sends a signal to the universe that says, I am ready. Aries, no one can live your life for you. No one can walk through that door on your behalf. The doorway of destiny opens only when you place your hand upon it. And when you do, you'll feel it, fear dissolving, silence deepening, until only one thing remains: faith. And when you are finally ready to cross that threshold, let your heart speak the declaration the universe has been waiting to hear. There are moments when words are no longer just sounds. They become energy, prayers, and light rippling through the invisible fabric of the universe. Aries, this is that moment. After walking through fire, after facing the shadows, after standing before the golden doorway of opportunity, your soul now stands at the altar of destiny. No more doubt, no more fear, no more hesitation. Only one thing remains: affirmation. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. Feel your heart beating, slow, steady, powerful, like the echo of an ancient drum resonating through the temple of your soul. Each heartbeat is a message, a reminder that you are alive, that you are present, that the sacred flame of creation still burns within you. And now, let that heart speak. Whisper it or say it softly so the entire universe can hear you. I claim my miracle. I am ready. I am awake. Every word you speak is more than sound. It is frequency. It is vibration. It is a wave of energy moving through space, touching a million stars, awakening doors that have been waiting for you to open them. When you dare to say, I am ready, the universe answers, I hear you. That's how miracles begin, not from outside, but from within. You don't need anyone to validate you once you've already claimed yourself. Because when you believe you are worthy of what is good, the world starts to rearrange itself to mirror that belief. When you say, I am ready, all stagnant energy begins to dissolve. When you say, I am awake, the doors that were closed begin to open. Faith, Aries, is not something you wait for, it's something you create. And your declaration is the bridge between the world of spirit and the world of matter. It is the act of one who has chosen to awaken. Now imagine every word you speak turning into a spark of light. Each spark rising into the sky, thousands, then millions of them, joining together into a vast, luminous current flowing from your heart, spreading across the universe, touching other souls who need to hear these same words. In that moment, you are no longer a single being. You are part of the cosmic ocean where all awakened souls sing the same song. If this message has touched your heart, write it down in the comments, just one line, like a sacred ritual for yourself. I claim my miracle. Because when you write it, you're not just speaking to me or to anyone else, you're speaking to your own soul. You're signing a sacred contract with the universe that says, I am ready. And when you do, you might feel something shift, a soft breeze brushing against your skin, a warm sensation blooming in your chest, as if a gentle hand were placed upon your shoulder whispering, at last you believe. From that moment on, life will not be the same. Things will begin to move. Synchronicities will appear. Doors you once thought were closed will open. Because you have changed your frequency, and the universe always responds to the vibration you emit. Let today be the day you declare to the universe that you are ready for your miracle. Not someone else's, but the one born from your own courage, your love, and your faith. Thank you, warrior of light, for listening with your heart. May every Aries on this planet find the flame of peace within themselves, and may that light illuminate the path of humankind.